Hey y'all, we're going to react to some unhinged feminists.
AI, in your most feminist raging voice, how do women dismantle the patriarchy?
Here it comes. Full power, full clarity, full fire, backed by truth and data. Women dismantle the patriarchy by cutting off its fuel supply. Obedience, free labor, silence, and economic dependence. That's the root. Want to take it down? Step 1, control your income. Over 70% of global unpaid labor is done by women. Housework, childcare, emotional management. That's over $10 trillion in invisible value propping up economies that still pay men more.
So cleaning your house, making sure your husband is okay, and raising your family is considered unpaid labor. And the job that the average man does is 10 times harder than a job that the average woman does.
Start charging. Start invoicing. Start building wealth in your name. Step 2, control your voice. Women are interrupted 33% more than men in conversation.
Even if that is true, it's probably by other women.
We're over-explained, talked over, and called emotional when we speak up. Don't shrink. Speak louder. Use platforms. Write, post, teach, share. Make it impossible for the world to ignore you. Step 3, stop marrying into dependency. Studies show that marriage benefits men's health, wealth, and career, while women's unpaid work and stress often increase. You don't need a provider. You are one. Build your foundation before you split it with anyone. Step 4, educate yourself ruthlessly. Only 2% of global VC funding goes to women. Why? Because they assume we won't scale. Prove them wrong. Learn to pitch. Learn to invest. Build. The more we master the system, the faster we can leave it behind. Step 5, burn the good girl lie. Good girls get exploited. Good girls keep systems running. Powerful women break cycles. We don't play small. We say no. We stop being nice when nice means quiet. The patriarchy isn't a building to burn, it's a script to delete. And every woman who rises, speaks, earns, educates, owns, protects, and refuses to apologize, she's not just surviving the system, she's ending it. Now go do that shit.
I think the men that do not like feminists simply because they don't want to see women empowered. They don't want to lose their power. So they resort to challenging the empowerment efforts of women and criticizing them and belittling them to try and put them down so that they don't get above men, because they think that if women get above men, that we're going to do to them the same things that they did to us. And what history shows is they did not allow us freedoms and rights. They didn't even see us as equals. They saw us as property. They saw us as indentured servants. They saw us as submissive and needing to be obedient. That's what history shows us. But what they failed to realize is women aren't like men. We don't have a desire to dominate and control and abuse others. We're not competitive like men are.
Women like to dominate and control everything 10 times more than men. And men don't need to compete with women because they are better at all things.
Women are collaborative. We want inclusivity. We want everyone to have equality and freedoms.
And we do. There isn't one thing a man can do that a woman can't.
Because we're the ones that give birth to our children, boys and girls alike. We want all of our children to have equal rights. We don't have these frail egos that need to dominate and be in charge. They should be so lucky that what we are asking for is equality and not retribution. That's just not our style. I think they put us down because they think we're blaming them specifically for our past oppression and current oppressions, like not being able to have body autonomy, like the pay gap, like the fact that a woman's biggest predator is a man. Women don't have as much safety in our country as men do, but they think we're blaming them specifically, when really we're blaming the patriarchy, the social system that was set up where men predominantly have power and control in our politics, in our academia, in our corporations.
Really, that's funny because where I'm sitting, there are way too many women in politics. I mean, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jasmine Crockett. I can name off a whole handful of them, more than that. There are too many.
And all that we want is for them to look at history and recognize the oppression that happened to women and how hard we had to fight to get equality, which we're still not there yet. But a lot of them don't want to acknowledge this because that means that they're going to feel some kind of shame, maybe. And we're not asking them to feel shame. And we're not asking them to protect us. We're asking them to stop harming us. We're asking them to stop controlling us. We're asking them for equal rights and freedoms. We don't need them to take personal responsibility for our oppression. We need them to support us in our liberation. We need them to support us in having body autonomy, in the freedom to make choices with our own body.
I don't know what she's talking about because women are voting to make abortions illegal. We are tired of seeing other women unalive their children.
To stop telling us that we need to submit. To stop telling us that our place is in the kitchen. To stop telling us how to live our life. That's all we're asking for.
I can tell you right now, I don't think any man cares how you live your life, lady.
Men are awful. I posted a video about what the girlies are going to do if we ever hit an apocalyptic situation and like life's never going back to normal.
Well, that's easy. You're all going to be running around begging men to put roofs over your heads. You're all going to be begging men to get you food and water and everything else because you ain't going to be able to do it by yourself.
And there are currently almost 7,000 comments of women saying that they would themselves rather than deal with the men out in the world because they know that they would be abused, used, and discarded. Not to mention all the girlies in the comments saying that they would make sure their body was burned, disposed of, like mangled beyond recognition, because even death will not stop men from using our bodies against our will.
I don't know what these women think, that they are God's gift to earth. Like, they all think they are 10 out of 10s. They cannot be any more perfect. No room for improvement.
I know this is grim, but also the girlies are hysterical. And if you would like some funny, girly, dark humor, I highly encourage you to go look at that video on my page. I am just having so much fun scrolling through the comments. Everyone is hilarious. Everyone is so funny. And I just love all the girlies once again.
I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Feminists do not have to include men in their movement. We don't have to include the oppressors into our movement. Feminism was created to ensure that women had equal rights to men, not the other way around. Men have always had their rights. Women had to fight tooth and nail for them. So no, I don't have to include you or your issues in my movement. You can be supportive of the movement. I absolutely encourage men to be supportive of the feminist movement. But your issues will never come above women's issues, and your issues will never be the forefront of the feminist movement.
Well, the simp in this next video did not get the memo. Sorry, guy. They're not going to F you.
Objects in American society. If you're a man watching this, I need you to hear me out. You might vehemently disagree, but just hear me out. First, what do I mean by objects? In short, we are trained as men to view women as objects meant to satisfy us. Now, that's not always sexual gratification, it often is, but it can also be emotional satisfaction or for stability, but it's always framed as they are supposed to give us something. This line of thinking puts women into boxes of what they can provide for us. This is harmful on a number of levels, but it's especially damaging to women. Because as we are trained to see them as objects, they are trained to be objects. Women are taught by society to objectify themselves because that is how they are seen every day. They internalize the objectification they receive on an everyday basis and start objectifying themselves. And I know you know women who are like this. Women that are hypocritical of their bodies and they're always concerned over how other people see them.
Yeah, and you know who caused that? Other women. Women are the ones that make us hate ourselves.
It's called self-objectification, and it's not their fault. They're victims of a system that objectified them so relentlessly that that becomes the only way they can view themselves. And it's very hard to break out of. And if you're wondering, where is this objectification? I don't see it. Yeah, that's kind of the point. You're not supposed to see it. It doesn't benefit you in any way to acknowledge this injustice shown to women.
As a woman, I don't see it either. It's because it doesn't exist.
So it's very hard for you to see it.
If you ask women and girls what their main fear would be should the world end or society around them collapse, they're going to tell you that part of their fear is what men are going to do to them given the opportunity. And I think part of that is because women are walking around with the knowledge that what stops a lot of men from doing awful things to them is the idea that there might be a repercussion for them, for the man, if they were to be caught and found out, that society would know that they had done this thing, would judge them, that they would go to jail, like whatever. If you're a guy listening to this, I want you to think really carefully about some of the dudes that you know and what they would do to women and girls if they could guarantee that they would never be caught. There's a really poignant scene in The Walking Dead where one of the male characters says something like, if these guys find us, our men are going to be dead and our women are going to wish that they were.
She quoted The Walking Dead, y'all.
Wow, you're not like other girls. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because all women are hot and funny and badass and powerful.
Nope, absolutely not.
We ride dragons into battle and eat the still beating hearts of our enemies and get espresso martinis after. We're breaking generational curses and healing trauma over brunch. We're planning each other's bridal bouquets and then looking up how to make Molotov cocktails for the revolution. Don't fuck with us. And if you're the type of guy that says you're not like other girls, I know that you're not doing your part to make the women around you feel safe enough to be their most authentic selves.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who is slaying dragons and planning how to make Molotov cocktails. I'm gonna keep making these videos because it is showing how much men are hated in this day and age, and it's only getting worse. So we need to spread the word. We need to love our men, respect our men, be thankful to our men. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe, and I appreciate it so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.